Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to have you all for this very, very special panel of guests. My name is Jean-Luc Colonna. I am not a journalist. I am a retailer. I have a passion for nice goods and nice stores. I've been lucky enough to create some concepts around this subject of daily goods for every day. 25 years ago, one named Résonance. 15 years ago, one named Merci, you may know, Boulevard Beaumarchais. And I have a passion for the products and for the people that make the product. And when the team of Maison&Objet asked me to choose a topic this year, I chose the topic of legacy store or magasins de mémoire. The idea is if we love nice products, well designed, we need good stores to keep them alive. Nice products deserve nice voices. And that's why I choose three very special people today that I will introduce for this subject. First, Stefania di Petrillo. She's a stylist, a designer, but also an author of a book just released today. You are the very first to see it. And the official launch in the bookstores will be 22nd of September, which is, she will describe about this subject, about portrait of nice objects. Then Simon, which is for me, my hero in terms of detail retail, about how to edit a line of products with a brand named Labor and Weight in London. And then Martin from Marseille, from the oldest retail stores in this category, named Maison Empereur. So we are very lucky because these two people are not people that communicate a lot, and they have accepted for Maison&Objet to be here today. So thank you very much for that. So we'll start with the book with Stefania, that will tell you about where does it come from and how the story of the book happened. Stefania, it's up to you.
Hello, I'm Stefania. Nice to meet you, everybody. So I am a designer, and I had the chance to become a journalist by writing on design and on everyday objects. And I will tell very shortly my history, how this attention on everyday objects came. It came from actually really at the beginning of my studies, because for the first year of my studies, the Politecnico di Milano, I was studying in Milano, it was very new. The design department of the design was very new, and it was just with architecture and engineering. And there was the real masters of design, Italian, were teaching there. So Branzi, Munari, I had everybody. I had a chance to meet everybody. And there was a teacher called Vogliazzo whose teaching was the culture of objects. And so we were very, very young designers, and we were discovering the importance to analyze like a stylo bic or a Japanese packaging, and it was very helpful for my future and my career. Then I have the chance also to work with Daniel Rosenstrauch, that is very close to Jean-Luc also, and it was really very obsessed by everyday objects. He collected hangers, he collected brushes in all his life. Then I also meet the person who became a designer close to me, that is Godefroy Desvirieux, and we really liked everyday objects and design everyday objects, and we really thought about the idea that an object have to speak alone, not with the signature of somebody, but just talk to everybody, not just to the designer addicted. And after some years, I had the chance to meet at the school of my daughters, a journalist that came in our apartment and started to look of all the objects that we have around the kitchen and the dining room and the bathroom, and she asked me for all the day where I bought some of the objects that she found it interesting. And I say that one of the objects came from a travel that I made, and one from my grandmother, and one I bought it from a department store in England, and so on. And when she came back, she was just starting a new job in les magasins du monde. And she, after some days, she asked me and Godefroy also if we wanted to launch a page about the objects that we had in our house. And after that, it was a test, actually, because the paper, the magazine was very new. And it became a reality that lasts for 10 years now.
So the idea, for the people who don't know this magazine, every week you have a double page like this one. The book is a kind of memory of these 10 years with one portrait and the story behind. So maybe we can describe one or two of these objects. For instance, this story.
Yes. This is a very, well, everybody knows this object maybe because Stanley is very, very new. But what is interesting that is there is a story that goes under the use that we made of these that we make of these objects nowadays. Like we put coffee, we put water to refresh it, or to just take it on hot. But at the beginning, this invention was used also in the history of the transporting material for pharmacy and for soldiers that had to be. I don't have a.
The idea is that, as you see, the format of the double page is a kind of very compact text. And as you know, the shorter you do a text, the stronger it is to do. And it introduces the product sometimes with a historical background, sometimes with a functional background. And that's the beauty of this book and magazine for 10 years. So we have different category of products.
Yeah.
This one is just to kind of cite what it is.
Sorry? Yes, for example, this kind of little pickle comes from Asia, of course, and I write about the idea that, for example, in Asia, the people really make everything with what they have, especially with bamboo. So here we explain with the designer how the object is intelligent and well done with really just one material that is used for all its qualities.
We get through other example. For instance, this one is a very surprising
nice
one.
The very surprising one, and what I like, especially for these pictures that explains very well the story, is that the English made this object with corn and to peel oranges and agrumes, and oranges and agrumes are not from England. So it's really marvelous to understand that there is a story about how the English appreciate also this kind of gold that came from the history, you know, of the travels, and so they invented the perfect object to cut a fruit that they were adopting from their travels.
We'll talk later about the photographer because, of course, it's a duo. with Stefania as a writer and Jonathan as the photographer. But as you see, these objects are always portrait in a very specific context in colors and shapes. So that's kind of very unusual for a book about objects to have this level of editing and styling. That. So a few other examples of double spread. This is a very special item, and the way it's shoot is very nice.
Yeah, I love this object. This is a very French one. It is a bouffadou. So we just use this to
for the fireplace.
For the fireplace, yes, of course. And it's very simple. It's made from just one wood pieces, and is totally handmade. It's very intelligent because it's a physical principle to add hair on the fire. So it's very interesting because you understand the intelligence of people that thought about something that was missing in the history of evolution of our everyday life.
And you will see if you get through the book that the majority of the products are anonymous designer or no designer. It's just natural design. Because the function, it makes sense to be far from the fireplace so your face is not burned, so you design a 1 meter long. It's just common sense design, which is for me the best design, of course. And this is a kind of poetry in this thing. And also, at the time we were not talking about sustainability or ecology, but it was made with waste of wood. So you don't, that branch that was falling down that they were using. So there is a beauty, even at the time that was not the subject. But now when we reread this product, you see through the book a lot of examples of natural design and sustainable design. And maybe it's 200 or 300 years ago where it was not the subject as it is today.
I think this is a very common one, and everybody saw it maybe in our grandparents' house, or maybe you have also. It's really nice how to think these objects that so you can cut your bread, you can cut your bread very
precisely.
And then you can not you avoid to break your kitchen plane. And then you can, today you can imagine that all the rest of your bread, you can give it to the birds, for example. I mean, it's very clever.
And for each story, you have the very specific name of the region, and even in the region, the sub-region. So it's Le Doubs, it's the east of France, and Franche-Comté is a part of Le Doubs. So it's local design because sometimes it's related to the wood or to the stone or to whatever. So there is a geographical, sociological, and design story in a very short page. That's the beauty of this story.
What is interesting that I had an arrangement with the magazine, and I had to buy the product because it was simpler to buy it instead of renting it for a moment. So every time I had to find the fabricant, the manufacturer, or the society that sell, but very often it was directly the manufacturer. So it was very interesting to make a dialogue with him.
And that also, and we'll see with Simon examples. For instance, this is a milk pot in enamel, and you have enamel in Germany, you have enamel in UK, you have enamel factories in France, but each one have a kind of twist. And so the beauty of detail, of culture, of design is also illustrated in this book.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this item, which is a manufacturer which is still existing and actually exhibiting at Maison&Objet, named Filt, F-I-L-T. And maybe you tell the story about this product that has a kind of reborn after years of going down, and now it's back again as a trendy and bobo shopping bag.
But the story is about fishermen and wives of fishermen that made it with nylon at the beginning, like the nylon for used by their husbands, and then it became a bag that today is made by cotton, but biologic cotton even. And these pictures shows the big one. You can put, I think, 6 or 7 football balls.
It's a family shopping bag.
And yeah, it's very interesting because the company still live on just this product.
And now it's exporting in Japan, in America, in London, because after 30 years of plastic shopping bag, as fortunately it's not forbidden, and so you still need to do shopping, and now you have back to the reality of what is a good design from the start.
But if you think of this bag as a designer, you think about the idea to make a product with hair, to make the volume with nothing. Actually, it's incredible. It's incredibly interesting and intelligent, so and with no weight of all. You can put the bag in a bag and to have it every day and every time you need it.
I show you a few examples. We don't have time to get through, but you can go through the book. You have very diverse type of item, contemporary or yesterday with the same function.
And I want really to thank a lot the photographer that and the artistic direction of the book and of the magazine at the beginning, because we had like we never talked each other about what I wrote and what he would of course he had the objects. I sent him the objects. He is Italian also. And I wrote, and when the magazine was edited every week, we had the surprise that the text and the picture were together perfectly. So it is very funny because it's 10 years of communication without, we spoke very little actually. So it's a very good.
And Jonathan is not an object photographer, he's a fashion photographer.
Yeah.
That's also, you have this angle which is very specific. Thank you very much, Stefania. We are passionate about the product, and we'll get to Simon. So I invite you to, if you have any question after the show, you can talk to Stefania and get through the books whenever you want. Simon, we now travel to Shoreditch in London.
Hello. Hello there. My name's Simon Watkins, and I'm one of the founding directors of a company called Labour and Weight. The sort of birth of our concept really happened with a colleague of mine, Rachel. The two of us, we used to work in the fashion business, and for many years we were you're following trends. There's this kind of desire and need to always be like, what's the new thing? What's the new thing? And we started to get a bit jaded with this, and we kind of thought, why do we always need to be looking for what's new when actually what we like personally, it's maybe the same thing that we've had for many years. There may be, in terms of clothing, it might be a favorite sweater. You go back to the shop to buy a new one and you can't get it anymore because now it's a new trend. So we started thinking about this and thinking about household products as well, because when we traveled a lot, quite extensively, looking at fashion, but through Europe and other countries. But we found that when we had free time, rather than looking at clothes, we were finding old hardware shops and really rooting around and trying to find traditional household products which are still in daily use. And we just felt very sad that in the UK at that point, there just wasn't anywhere where you could buy these kind of things. Like if you wanted to find a decent dustpan and brush or something like this, they were all made of plastic. It was all like funky design. You couldn't find something that was just classic and timeless. Things in a way that maybe our grandparents or parents used to have, and things that sometimes we still had because they've lasted a long time. So we thought, well, maybe we ought to start this shop. So that's exactly what we did. We made a long list of sort of favorite items of our own, things that we'd bought, things maybe that belonged to parents, things that friends had that we liked. And then we set about trying to source these products. So we decided to open our first shop in Shoreditch, which, as I was saying earlier, in those days was quite a kind of scary neighborhood. It was very rough. We found this little shop, and we started to bring together all these very different items coming from very different areas. So we've been mixing some clothing items with, you know, really nice buckets, brushes, traditional things, traditional tools, kitchenware, this kind of thing. Lots of our friends in the fashion business thought we'd gone mad. And were saying, well, you're going to sell buckets. And we said, yeah, but, you know, really nice ones. Where can you find a really nice bucket now? So we put all this together, and then we opened the shop. And luckily, we discovered it wasn't just us that liked these things. So we were very lucky. Very early on, we got quite a lot of press because it was quite an unusual shop to open. This is back in the year 2000. So the message got out there, and pretty soon we had people coming from Japan holding little articles that they'd torn out of magazines that they'd read about us in Japan, coming to find this shop in London. And really it just grew by word of mouth. We never did any advertising. It was literally just people telling other people and the message getting out there.
Just one question, Simon, about as a retailer and passionate about projects, when we love products, we want to keep it. But when we have a small size stores, there is a big question how you keep the iconic product and bring some fresh product to renew, even at a slower pace than in the fashion. How do you balance about the iconics that are there from the start? I'm a fan from the first day, and I'm very happy to see them again. And new freshness, how do you balance on a small size store? It's about 150 square meter max stores. It's not giant stores like Martin store. That is a challenge for buyer.
It is quite a challenge, yes. I mean, we have 2 shops in London now. We're actually just about to open a 3rd in Covent Garden, which will be a bigger shop than we've had before. But it is a challenge, yes. But we find that actually, with the assortment that we have, even established customers who come in week after week, they'll come in and say, oh, wow, this is great, this is new. And we'll think, it's not new, actually, we've had it all along. But at that point, they weren't looking for that product. Because what we're selling is products to be used and useful things. People don't necessarily take in everything in one go. So actually, we find there's less need to keep on changing. And as Jean-Luc said, what we do really is we add to our product assortment. So the shop gets more and more full of product as we go along, because we rarely discontinue things. And looking at this slide here, this is an enamelware manufacturer in Austria that we do a lot of business with. And what we did here was we created our own colors. So we do our own version of their products. So it keeps it new and it keeps it sort of unique to us. We do that with quite a few products now, but we always go to a manufacturer who has the real expertise and the history in that product. So maybe it's just a slight change of color or something like that that makes it exclusive to us, but we know that the history and the longevity is there.
Yeah. Thank you, Simon. And we have a very special contrast with the next speaker, with Remy, because I will define Simon's store as ultra choice, super edited choice, very edited like a fashion editor will do. And with Maison Empereur, I will keep it hyper choice. That means the largest possible with the largest variation possible. And you will tell Martin about this very fantastic family story in Marseille.
That's stressful. But, so hi everyone, my name is Martin Guez Empereur. So I'm the 8th generation of La Maison Empereur. So for those of you who don't know what is La Maison Empereur, so it's the oldest hardware store in France, dating back to 1827. And so a few key numbers. So we do have 55,000 references. So if you want to come to the inventory, it will be a nice day. So we have 12 departments, 1,500 square meters. So yeah, it's a big mess.
So you have 4 departments like hardware, kitchen, clothing, and lifestyles. And we get through a few examples and we rebound on that.
Yeah, and many
So
others.
when you talk about mess, we are talking about super stylish mess. So you see a few examples like the hardware section.
Yeah, actually, so there is the hardware, the gardening part, the kitchen, the knife. We also have old toys, and yeah, many different things. And yeah, the story behind Emperor is really funny because, sorry, stress. Because like each generation had few elements to the store. So everything started with the forge. So we used to create some nails, and then the second generation brought the hardware part, and then each generation brought something new to the store, and that's why it's this big now, and with so many different sectors. So yeah, that's really cool.
And just to rebound on this, I call it the hard to find things. If you want for a project, forge iron nails in 5 different sizes, only crazy people like Maison Empereur will have stock of 5 different formats of iron forged nails, and that's the beauty of it. And you see the advertising in the 50s or 60s about this nail maker, and you still found the selection. That's why I call it hyper choice, because you can ask any crazy question. Somebody at Maison Empereur say, yes, we used to do it in 75. Maybe we have some more. So that's the beauty of this, what I call hyper choice. Let's go to a few examples about, of course, fashion as workwear, which is now very fashionable, but has been fashionable at Maison Empereur for years, because from the start you have had some working wear.
Yeah, so we always sold, I'll say clothes, but working clothes. And what my mother done 10 years ago, she tried to develop it. So what she did is she made like a tour about all the traditional clothes. So every clothing having a story behind it. So yeah, we have like clothes from all around the world, like this. This is a blue from China, and yeah, it's a traditional fishing dress. So since there is story, it have its place in the store. So that's what she tried to reproduce, like just tell story, and yeah, that's really interesting.
So that's fun because I've been at Maison Empereur since 30 years, and now it's a fashion destination. So you have people from Tokyo, from Los Angeles, trying to find a fisherman or a carpenter's things, which is very, for the people from the local buyers of Maison Empereur from years, sometimes a kind of contrast between very fashion, stylish Korean girls and a local guy just coming to Maison Empereur to buy some painting from their work. So how do you manage to deal with the two customers?
Yeah, that's pretty funny to see on camera because you see so many different people from all around the world. And we just made our calculation 2 weeks ago, and we discovered that last year we had almost 1 million visitors. So that's, wow, really impressive. So we're trying to figure it out how we're going to push the wall for next year's. So yeah, we have like local people who's buying the daily stuff, like I don't know, some soap for the dishes, and then we also have some people who's coming with our private chauffeur, buying like many different things. And yeah, I mean, it's a good mess. But what's interesting about Emperor is like everyone is really fascinating about the store and the warm welcome about our employee. So all these people walking together in the store without looking to each other like, oh, what is this poor guy there? Or what is this rich man there? And nobody's scared. Everyone just enjoying it and just walking around the store, taking fun and having fun. And yeah, that's really unique because I think in the world there is not many stores that you could find like wealthy people and poor people all together at the same place. And yeah, that's something really important for us to keep our local clients as well. And
just for the people who have not been to Maison Empereur, I invite you to go there. It's the very center of Marseille, near the very best area. So it's very easy to find, and it's a very unique visit. Just for the people who cook, for instance, you are crazy about cake molds, that you can invent any type of cake. There is a piece to do it. So here, all sizes of cakes, all sizes of pies, beyond everything you can imagine. So if you like cooking, stop in Marseille, you can have some very special shapes.
yeah, for sure, you're going to spend hour and hour buying some kitchen stuff. But yeah, we have so many things, so many things. And what's cool about our references is like our, I would say, references are like 200 years old, because our philosophy is when a product enter to Emperor, it never go out. So we're just adding and adding and adding more stuff. So there is some product who never left the store. We have stuff from like many, many years. And yeah, here you could see the coffee grinder from La Maison Peugeot. I don't know if you heard about the paper grinder. And actually, that's a funny story behind it, because we're the oldest retailers of coffee grinder. So the one you see behind is called Modèle Art. So it's from 1840. I think it's the next slide. Yeah, this one on the left. And so it's from the 1840. A funny story behind it, just like 2 weeks ago, there is a woman who came in the store with one of those, and there is our logo stamping on it, like Maison Empereur. And that's cool, because in the era, all the second-hand store know that we used to make product, and they're always calling us like, okay, I have this in my store, and there is Maison Empereur in it. Would you like it? Would you like to add it to the museum? And say, yeah, of course. So we just retrace his story with some of this stuff. And yeah, we made a museum. So it's like there's the coffee and 2 other floors. And so we decided to put in evidence all the oldest French manufacturer we've been working with for the past 200 years. So yeah, and we are what we are today because of the quality of the product, but we're just retailers. We're not making anything. So that's really important to honor them and say, okay, our reputation based on quality and advices is because of this product, and these products are so well made. So that's really important to honor them. And yeah, that's letters from my old grandpa, so Monsieur Empereur, writing to Monsieur Peugeot. So yeah, that's cool to find some archive like this.
And what I think is we are talking about memory because of retailers, but also because of families, because sometimes the brands have been sold to other companies, and sometimes the archives are not in the factory, but they are in the retailers. So if you want to know something about a brand, it's better to go to Maison Empereur sometimes than to the manufacturer, because they are still there and the owners have been changing. So I love the idea of archaeology of objects, and for people who love history, that's nice. And one thing, because as a buyer and retailer, it's not a museum, it's for real business. And for instance, you see the largest collection of paper mills. If you love paper, you get crazy. Perfect from Saint-Étienne, Peugeot, whatever. But you see the evolution, for instance. Of course, we don't use coffee grinders like yesterday, but Peugeot has been doing new products, and you can find the evolution of a product in the history. And I love the idea. You have the museum part for your brain, but you have the product for retail that you can buy from today and the evolution of the brand. And this image reflects that. It's not a museum. It's the actual hardware and daily life store.
Yeah, definitely.
So we talk about some products that are very difficult to define. So this, when you see this, you don't know exactly what it is. And at Maison Empereur, you will find some products that are not from Marseille, because even Maison Empereur is in Marseille. It is not a provincial store. It's a general store for all the makers from all over the world. And can you talk about this special piece that you can find at Maison Empereur, what I call hard-to-find items?
Yeah, that's really fun, because we have all the things that you can't find anywhere, like you could find it in the store. And these little things here, we're not having it for the past 15 years, and we just found someone who's remake this product, and we found it like 2 months ago, and we already sold out like almost 200 pieces. So that's a pot holder, but the one you put water in it, which means you could keep the butter outside of the fridge, and then it's, I would say, sweet, so you can like using it easily. It's not like a hard block of butter, you know. And this is kind of things our grandpa use like daily, you know. Yeah, that's a funny stuff.
That's for me the definition of anonymous design with a real function to have the butter at the right temperature. Out of the fridge, it's cool. It's tiny. It's not a, there is no logo, whatever. And it's for me the definition of well designed, well thought, and well done product. And I love the idea that sometimes a product disappear for a period of time, that get back because a guy crazy like you say, why we don't take 50 pieces of this? We don't know. And I love this idea of a serendipity in a buyer life. Sometimes you say, why not? And something happened. Because the product has a real function, has been designed with a purpose, and because the evolution of lifestyle is moving, now we are very attracted by these natural, no energy pieces. Maybe in the 60s, it was cool to put everything in the fridge and whatever. So the idea is that you have back into a kind of modernity because the evolution of lifestyle, and that's the beauty to be at home during the last 200 years or so, which is nice.
That's our daily fight. Like all the time we see like sales reps saying, okay, this is the new colors, the new design, the new seed, and we say, we don't care. We want to keep the original ones working really well. Why are you always trying to make something fancy, something, I mean, it's really useful and the design is really simple. Just keep it like this. That's
just now we have a few minutes to exchange with the panel about with the three experience. And a first question with for you, Martin, about how do you manage, because it's so busy in your place. Sometimes I come, there is 2,000 people in the store, and each product have a story, and we love to talk about the product. We do not have time. You don't use a lot of panel or cartel or wording. How the story of the product is related to the customer, sometimes not, sometimes yes. How do you manage about the source of ideas you can get into your stores? It's visually first, not much text.
We're always losing cartel, but what we're trying to do is having the best vendors, and they just like telling story. That's their mission. I mean, I don't care if we're selling stuff or not. They are here to tell story behind the product, and okay, this is for this is for that, and explain the story behind it. And because there is, like, I think every all our item having a story behind, so it's really important for the people who's knowing the story behind what it's buying. So yeah, that's what we used to do all the time, just telling story all the time. And sometimes you have grandma will just sit in the store and telling story behind this product. You say, oh, that's funny, I bought it like 40 years ago here with my grandma, and then I using it this way, not this way. And then the vendors speaking with the grandma, with the new client who's coming here, and then make like a...
When you have the exception of Maison Empereur, that the staff also has been there for years sometime. Yeah. So it's not like a chain stores when people are moving, new people every week. You see some people, I buy some low carbon bulbs from years at Maison Empereur, and 3 years after I get back to the same guy because I love the bulbs you're having. And it's good to find right people in the right place. So that's the beauty of being at home.
There is some grandma when in the morning I open the store, I say, oh, how can I help you? I say, I don't care. I want to see this guy. I say, okay, sorry. So yeah, they have the...
Simon, can you tell us, Martin share about this product as a kind of favorite product of the moment. What will be your product you describe well, labor and weight? Of course, it's very difficult to choose like children, but what's a product you illustrate a kind of very labor and weight item?
Okay, it is very difficult to choose one thing, but it's actually a French product. The Super Kim can opener from Nogent we really like. Do you know that one? And it sells very, very well. It's just such a well-designed product for opening cans. I mean, for years I've sort of battled with badly designed can openers that don't work properly. This one, we sold it many times to older people who have trouble sort of gripping things. People come back and buy it again, buy it as presents for people because it just works so well. That's one of the things. And then I can choose a British thing as well. We sell very nice bags by a company called Brady, who manufacture traditional fishing bags with beautiful bridal leather trim. Really, really nice. But originally for fishing, but obviously you can use them as an everyday bag. I have one with me today. I use it all the time, and it's just the best.
Just to rebound on this subject of the made in, we have a few trends. Legacy store, that means product with history, wherever do they come from, or local store with only French product or UK product or German product? At the start, you were starting having a majority of UK product, or from the start you have been abroad?
No, from the start, actually, it was a lot of European products too, because we felt that in Europe you had a lot more of these traditional products still available than we did in the UK. So we initially were buying lots of things from France, from Germany, from all European countries, and then finding British-made products as well, which in the UK people had sort of forgotten about these things, and there were companies still working away behind the scenes making these fantastic practical things, but they weren't shouting about them, and they were just being forgotten about. So it was really great to be able to shine a light on some of these products again and reignite people's interest in them. And as you were saying, in our stores, it's absolutely a delight. I mean, I love being behind the counter because just telling stories about the products, these kind of products really have soul. It's more than just the article in front of you. It has something about it, some sort of other magic quality. And there's always a story, and customers love to hear those stories. And quite often we have situations where we'll be telling a customer about something, another customer will be beside them and say, oh yes, I've got that, it's really good, and tell another story about it. And it's a really, really nice thing. And very much like you, I'm not so interested that people have to buy all the time. I just want people to look at the products, enjoy them, and we'll say, okay, you know, if you want to think about it, we always have it. We'll see you another day. It's fine. Yeah. I'd much rather that people were very happy with something that they've bought and they know they're going to use it.
And they had a good experience, so they're going to come back anyway. So
yeah.
As we get to the conclusion, I just want to ask to Stefania about one favorite choice after 10 years of picking every week a well-designed product. Which product will be, at the moment, a product that will be your top one?
I thought when you spoke about the origin of objects, if it was more English, or I thought about that I wrote about the trag basket, and I'd love to write. Yeah. And it was very simple at the moment to have a basket from England, because after that there was taxes, and I spoke with fabricant, manufacturer, and his wife went to the post to post me the basket, and it was so funny. What I have to just to conclude the idea of telling stories. I had the opportunity to make a little show of the objects at the beginning of the rubric in Le Monde. We had like 50 objects. In next November, the exposition will be bigger, because we will show all the objects selected in the book, and more of 120 in the Cité du Design in Saint-Étienne. But the first experience of this little exposition about everyday humble objects of everyday life was in Burgundy, in a very, very little museum. And what was very, very interesting, that people spoke each other, because there was young people, young visitors that didn't know some objects, and then there were old people that knew some objects, and it was very, very funny, because there was not a distance between what you see in the museum and appropriation of these objects. So it's like to see the object like a piece of art, but because you show it in a museum, but people were very, very close to what they saw, and so the story came out from all the visitors. It was very, very interesting for the communication of.
As we get to the conclusion, a few news. First, so there is this big expo in the Museum of Design in Saint-Étienne, which is the #1 national museum of design, with all the product in November.
Yeah.
Second news, the launch of the book will be tonight at Merci at 6:30, a party with Stefania and the tribe. So if you are in the Marais for some reason, stop by to have a glass of wine and enjoy talking with Stefania. And you will have a little exhibition at Merci about a few pieces, because as you know, I've been at Merci before and used to do a lot of these products. So they are back again into a new show, thanks to Stefania. If you go to London, visit Shoreditch if you don't know. If you are on the west, go to Marylebone, and in the future, maybe in the new place. And when you are in Marseille, you know where you have to go. You can't be easier. You go to the sea. When you stop, it's the port, and then you get back, and it's Maison Empereur. I want to thank you very much to share your years, months, and centuries of experience with the crowd. We'll take one question, and then if you have a private question, you can go to the... If there is one question before the bell rings. Yes, please.
Just one. I have two. So thank you so much. It was so inspiring for me because actually I would like to open a concept store. I'm Korean, so I want to have concept store made in Korea. So grazie Stefania for the explanation. I will definitely buy the book. And I have a question for Simon. I have a question between opening online first before opening physical shop. And what was your case for your business?
Okay.
And what would be your advice for beginners who want to open this kind of soulful shops?
Yeah.
And the question for Martin was, you have many references in your store, but how many categories you have, and what is top 3 categories in your store?
Maybe because of...
Sorry for many
No,
questions.
because of time shortage, maybe we do direct questions with Martin just after the show. Maybe a short answer by Simon about the online versus physical.
Okay.
And because I have to respect the timing because you have a next talk after that. Sorry for that, but we can do dialogue with directly to Martin while he's there.
Okay. Well, when we started, it was in 2000, so the internet wasn't such a thing. So we started with a physical store. And also we felt that the kind of products we sold, people really need to touch them, feel them, and experience them rather than just buy them on a screen. But actually, our online business is very successful. And it's actually meant that we have a much bigger reach. So I think today, the two things are important actually, and I think they go hand in hand. We find that often people will come to our store having already looked at the website and decided what they want, and they'll come to the store and ask for it. So I think it's both.
Thank you very much. Grazie. Thank you. Merci, Martin, for this fantastic experience sharing. Thank you for you to be there today.